What's going on, everybody? Trevor here, and today on Humphrey Farms, we're gonna find out if I can turn all of these old cuts of wood into a brand new indoor greenhouse. The most important thing is that we can fit these LED grow lights, for without light, nothing will grow. I have two 2-foot lights and one 4-foot light. If you include the space for the cord at the end of this 4-foot light, that means we're actually going to need 49 or 49.5 inches so that we don't pinch the cord. This is going to lead to a couple problems because the pieces that I already have, 1/2 inch, that I was going to make the shelves out of are only 48 inches. And we need them to be 49.5 inches to reach the two sides. I did some pre-planning here on these sheets of paper. It might not work out exactly like it is here, but I think that this gives us a good spot to start. The first thing that we're going to need to do is get an appropriately cut bottom, back, and two sides. For the sides of my new greenhouse, I'm going to use this here. The siding from my shed actually is one of my most popular videos. As I'm speaking, the two parts of the foundation and shed building have over 10,000 views. I can't believe it. Anyway, the depth of my greenhouse is going to be 24 inches, and conveniently, this is exactly 48 inches. So all I have to do is cut it in half this way. Then the height, I'm going to need to be 49 inches because I want to have it overhang the bottom and overhang at the top just a little bit. All right, cut it just along that line. Don't even need to measure this time. I'm really not too worried if it's perfectly straight or not. No. Close enough. I'm gonna make the bottom out of the only thing that I have to make 49.5 inches by 2 feet, and that's these here deck boards. I use these for the siding of my shed, and I've got at least 4 offcuts here that are big enough for these purposes. So, for accuracy's sake, this time we're gonna use my compound sliding miter saw. Okay, so these old deck boards are exactly 5.5 inches each. So if I use just 4, that's going to be 11, 16.5, 22 inches. And that's not enough inches, I need 24. What's awesome is that somebody had already stripped one at 3.5 inches and left a 2-inch piece remaining. Could that be any more perfect? I think not. So now all I gotta do is measure my 49.5 inches on each one. Sometimes you're stupid and you don't move the other saw out of the way and wonder why you can't make the cut. Easy. Okay, so we've got our 24 by 49.5 made out of siding, aka deck boards. Now we've got to attach them together and start making the bottom frame so we can hold up the sides. These here are the previous frame pieces for my old greenhouse. Just gotta take the screws out of those and I can start cutting. So now, to attach this together, the total is 2.5 inches and the deck boards are 1 inch thick. So that means I'm probably going to need 2-inch screws to secure this together. I hope I've got some. Yes! 2-inch deck screws. So I think what I'm actually going to do, because I was going to put legs on this thing, is put this part on the bottom side so that I can secure the legs here as well, and then you also won't see any screws on the inside. Let's try that. Nice. For legs, just going to use a couple more of these right in here, 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 just to raise it a bit off the ground. I'm thinking 4 inches. This is going to be a thing of beauty. I think we have a base. Is it level? Ah, who cares? This thing is awesome. So there we have it. We need to make sure these pieces are exactly 49.5 inches wide altogether. But when we make our bracket that goes across the top, we need it to come in 1.5 inches on both sides so that it can connect to the sides when we put it all together downstairs. So for this part here, I want the screws to come in from the back because that'll be against the wall and you can't see them. So just gonna get this here clamped precisely in position.
Oh my.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, eh?
That's as secure as that's gonna ever get. We're gonna cut one more piece of this trim with the table saw here to fill in the gaps on the back. Those gaps are about 1.5 inches, so let's go 2.5 inches and then we'll have lots of room left over. Then we'll screw it down with teeny tiny screws. Don't do it like me. You should probably leave the guard on. Me, I don't care. You may ask yourself, Trevor, did you even measure? Is that even straight? Is that square? Of course it is. Now, is that not the most beautiful back of an indoor greenhouse you've ever seen? So now, for each of the sides, we need a top to match the top on the back side. So it can all be screwed together. And then, using this 3/4 inch, we're gonna make a bunch of supports for our shelves. This way, as the plants grow, I can move the lights up or the plants down to make sure they're getting the exact right height. We're gonna do this on both sides. So, I only had enough scraps to make a bunch of 18 and 3/16 inch shelf holders. Shelf supports. Let's just take a quick look at what that looks like. I mean, does it have to be perfect? Nothing else is. One side, complete. Now, all I've got to do is make sure I measure these and duplicate it properly on the other side. Then, I'm going to just do a rough assemble here in the garage. And probably that'll be it for tonight. Who needs a brother when you've got a lovely wife?
Hello.
We're gonna put this thing together. The lovely Antonia holds my box.
I did it.
Side one. Got some nice shelf action. Got everything lined up. Looks pretty good. We got 1, 2 sides. I mean, that's a box made out of scrap. I think you're released.
Peace.
Now all that's left to do is to secure the back to the frame. It's not perfect. Oh, actually it could be perfect. I think it works. I mean, there's nothing supporting me under here except the power of this thing I just built. So next up, we gotta build our 2 shelves for moving the plants up and down. That's going to be the relatively easy one. And then I need to build the 2 shelves that mount the lights. Finally, we got to figure out how to get some sort of plasticky window thing to slot in at the front and across the top. I have a plan, but will it work out? So this isn't exactly the most ideal thing, but like I said, I wanted to build everything out of old material. So to build the shelves for my lights and to rest my other plywood on, I'm gonna cut these here deck boards directly in half. Actually, I gotta take that staple out first. Take them in half and create a little frame with them to support my light underneath and my board on top. I think it's gonna work. Pro tip, this thing's really loud, and if you don't have any earplugs, you could try some maracas in the ear. I think it's gonna work. And voila, 4 perfectly cut pieces. Okay, I really need to get an anchor of some sort for that thing. That's a project for another day. Now for some reason, even though I measured 49.5 inches everywhere for my frame, it's actually 50 inches wide that I need to make my shelves. So you see here, this will be the bottom of the shelf, and I'm going to attach this light to it. So all I need to do first is secure this together with some screws, probably just a few, and that'll be good. For the top lights, we're gonna have to do the same thing, but use a thinner material, because I didn't leave an inch at the top. We might use that old trim to do these pieces, but it's just gotta support the 2 pretty light lights. 4 per side might be overkill, but whatever. That's a sturdy shelf. Because they don't have to hold as much weight, I'm going to use these pieces of leftover trim from the old townhouse job we were doing and turn these into my bracket for my 2 small lights. Man, the sun's hot today. Okay, so if I did this right, this should hang up like that. Okay, let's try that again. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Hey, look at that. Okay, so my trim upper support is a little wonky. I'm probably gonna have to redo that one, but I think it's good enough for now. I mean, it's on there pretty good. And then for the lower spot where I'm gonna put the light, I'm gonna just use the classic zip ties. Ooh, ay. Tighten that bad boy up. We're gonna do 16 hours on and 8 hours off. That should be nice. I'm just gonna fish those plugs out the crack here and let's see if it's working. Oh. All right, let me put my shelves in. Just like this. 1, 2. And we left out 1 shelf for now, because I think this is gonna work perfectly for what I need so far. Oh, that's growing very well already. Put that back up in there. Spinach. Womp, 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 womp. So there you have it. This is why I made it modular, so I could get them nice and low to start. Then as everything grows up, I raise them up. Well, thanks everybody for watching. It's not exactly what I set out for, but nothing ever totally goes according to plan. This is going to very effectively grow my seedlings for me. All that's left to do is wrap it in plastic. I'll update you guys when everything is grown a little taller still and when I go ahead and put them in larger cups. Thanks for watching everybody. I'm glad we could do this together.